Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A federal gun charge against the man suspected in the murders of 3 people, including a 9-year-old girl, tonight. A new 7-page complaint shows how police were able to catch 29-year-old Edward Redding on Sunday.
Redding was arrested after leading state police on a chase in Detroit. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors say he's the prime suspect in the death of his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and his ex-girlfriend's niece. Their bodies were discovered in a burned-out car Sunday in the area of 30th and Milford on the city's west side. Erica Erickson joins us live. And Erica, that complaint has shed new light on what happened here.
Yeah, it certainly has. We saw Redding in court. He was wearing a beige jumpsuit. He had chains around his wrists, his waist, his ankles. He's hearing the charges against him in federal court. Take a listen to the details.
An unimaginable scene on Detroit's west side, a charred car, 3 lives taken. Now, the man suspected in that triple homicide arraigned Tuesday on a federal charge of a felon in possession. This all stemming from that horrific scene early Sunday, what Detroit police are investigating as a triple homicide. 3 bodies found inside a torched car. Sources say Redding's 44-year-old ex-girlfriend and her mother were found shot in the head in the back of the burned car. And his ex-girlfriend's 9-year-old niece also found with her throat slashed in the back seat, all of them set on fire. Sources say his ex-girlfriend had been babysitting, but her nephew was not hurt in the home. Court documents say within 25 minutes of 911 calls, the Detroit Homicide Task Force able to track a silver Saturn Vue to Edward Redding. And when trying to stop him, they say he took off southbound on I-75, driving on the shoulder and into oncoming traffic, and then exiting and running red lights, trying to get away. Redding losing control and crashing into a median. Police say he tried to run again, but troopers arresting him and finding a black Smith & Wesson .38 caliber revolver inside a brown bag on the front passenger side floor. Redding police say later admitting to seeing and touching the gun, but says he ran because he was on parole and wanted to return the gun, manufactured outside of the state, to its owner. The 29-year-old convicted felon out on parole from offenses in 2010, including armed robbery, carjacking, and felony firearm. Redding record shows sentenced to 11 to 22 years in prison and serving roughly 13 of them. Sources say he even tried to control his ex-girlfriend he's suspected of killing while behind bars, telling her where to be and what time to be there.
There's a lot of moving parts to this. As far as the federal case goes, we're told he's due back in court on Thursday for a bond hearing. Now, we're also told this gives Detroit police time to work on that homicide investigation that he's linked to. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Okay, Erica, thank you.
The decades-old market in Oakland County is now a total loss. A fire ripped through the Plum Hollow Market on 9 Mile Road in Losser and Southfield overnight. Now Kim DeGiulio shows us just how important this shop was to the community.
It is just the exterior that is left of this market that has served this community here in Southfield for over 50 years. I want to step aside here to show you what is left of Plum Hollow Market, located here on 9 Mile and Losser Road. As you can see, the flames are out now. However, that was not the case at 1 o'clock this morning. Crews received the call around 1:05. They arrived here in minutes to battle those flames. This entire market was engulfed in flames. Crews believe that the fire started near the corner of the market. They were able to get inside and fight those flames at first. They were coming from the roof, but then it did ignite more flames. Of course, you don't know exactly what was in this market that could have caused more ignition. So the crews had to get out for their own safety and fight this fire on the outside. I spoke to the battalion chief of the Southfield Fire Department, and he says that this is a huge loss for the community, as this market is a total loss.
It's a staple in our community, and it's been around for a long time. So a lot of our citizens have been affected by that, and the homeowners have been affected. But we had a lot of help from neighboring departments, and our crews did everything they could, exhausted all their efforts to be able to try to save this property, save a piece of our community. We did the best we could, but luckily nobody's hurt.
And that is the good news that we have learned, that nobody was injured in all of this. But again, this market that has served this community for over 50 years is a complete loss. You can see fire crews are still going to make sure that no hot spots pop up over the next 24 hours or so. So you're going to want to avoid 9 Mile and Losser if you do travel through this area. In Southfield, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
The phone lines are open. That's the message from the White House today, urging the nation's trade partners to make their best offer to get relief from new tariffs set to go into effect tonight. Today, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are urging President Trump to abandon those tax hikes as predictions of a recession increase. NBC's Julie Sirkin has more from Washington.
The clock is ticking until new Trump-imposed taxes on goods imported from more than 50 countries take effect. And the results, analysts say, could be dramatic.
At midnight tonight, the era of cheap consumer goods for Americans could very well be over.
On Capitol Hill, a contentious Senate hearing. Lawmakers unleashing on the White House top trade representative.
I'm assuming this all got gamed out. Because it's a novel approach, it needed to be thought out. Whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong?
We have a trade surplus with Australia. We have a free trade agreement. Why? They are an incredibly important national security partner. Why were they whacked with a tariff?
Jamieson Greer defended the Trump tariffs, saying they're a drastic, overdue change which will overcome short-term losses in global markets.
This adjustment may be challenging at times. I'm certain that the American people can rise to the challenges they've done before.
After days of mixed messaging over whether the tariffs are permanent, the White House now says it is open to making deals with trade partners.
The president met with his trade team this morning, and he directed them to have tailor-made trade deals with each and every country that calls up this administration to strike a deal.
One country not coming to the negotiating table yet, China. The White House says it will raise tariffs on Chinese goods to 104% on Wednesday. China's leaders vowed to fight to the end. The escalation comes as the president faces growing pressure from top business leaders to postpone or reduce the tariffs after they caused chaos in investment markets and wiped out trillions of dollars from Americans' wealth.
The economy is weakening as we speak. Most CEOs I talk to would say we are probably in a recession right now.
Seattle Vietnamese restaurant owner Dong Nguyen says he's made little profit since the pandemic and fears what will happen to his business when costs rise overnight.
46% is, too much for the Vietnamese people.
As the trade war escalates, American consumers and business owners are left with uncertainty.
In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
Well, right now, Detroit is experiencing a renaissance driven by a surge in demand for skilled trades.
And the Motor City's economic resurgence has led to a boom in construction projects, as you might think. And as a result, there's a huge demand for skilled labor, including electricians, plumbers, welders, and carpenters.
The skilled trades industry is also facing a significant challenge, and that is an aging workforce, leaving a gap in the labor market that needs to be filled. So how do we keep up with a growing demand and shrinking skilled workforce? Let's get out to Pamela Osborne live with more on this effort. Pam.
Hey, Kimberly and Ty, there are women that work in the city's demolition and construction department, and today some of them created a hands-on learning opportunity for the girls of the Detroit International Academy.
Attach it there. We call this a sleeve.
This career talk was full-on, hands-on.
We secured it with bolts and everything, which is really nice because we got to use the power tools.
One step at a time, the girls learned how to properly secure the windows of a vacant home and why.
Something I learned today was how plexiglass is put on windows of abandoned houses so people aren't able to enter them.
But they learned so much more. This exercise was not only about building, but doing so on a budget.
It's five
straws for $15.
So I say get 2 sets of 5, so get 10.
It was eye-opening for senior Tajana McCaleb.
I didn't think specifically construction would be the best way to go because it is a male-dominated field, and I thought that just wasn't an option for me. But today I was showed that it is an option for me.
For Soleil Thomas, construction was her desired option.
I started out as a nursing major. Unfortunately for me, I do not like needles.
And in just 2 years, at 24 years old, she's a construction manager looking for the next generation of builders.
It's a very lucrative career. There's so many avenues that they can be a part of, but the key part that they're missing is actually having someone kind of explain that to them.
It was really nice to be able to see women in that field.
They want everyone to know this field is open to anyone, not just those with degrees.
In this industry, you can go to school, or you don't have to go to school. You can go to trade school. There's so many ways that you can get into this industry.
And if any of this sounds interesting to you, the good news is Demo Week continues tomorrow at Northwest Activity Center. That's on Myers Road. There's going to be a career fair happening there from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. So an opportunity for you to go by, talk to some folks, get a better understanding of what you might be able to do. Reporting live in Detroit tonight, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
What a great story. Okay, Pam, thank you so much. And we will be focusing on letting you know about skilled trade programs and opportunities under a new series that we've launched here at Local 4. It's called Trade Up. I've been getting tons of emails and questions about Trade Up. So here's how it will work. There's nothing to sign up for at all. We're going to share stories across all of our platforms that could help people looking to pursue a career in the trades. So scan the QR code right there on your screen. It's going to take you to the Trade Up page on clickondetroit.com, which already has some helpful links and information. Also, if you know of a business or school with a program that we can showcase, we want to hear from you, and you can send us a message through that webpage.
All right, let's get a check on the forecast right now on this Tuesday evening. Here's a live look at the Detroit riverfront on a sunny but cold Tuesday across Metro Detroit, and Pamela's shot there. You heard the wind whipping around as well. We have Kim Adams standing by with the forecast again on this Tuesday. Kim?
Well, we've started to lose our sunshine in many areas, and you can see the blue here on the map. That indicates some very, very light snowfall, and it's mainly north of I-94 and then back out to the west. We've seen a couple flurries in Howell and then north of I-69, and another little area of snow right here just outside the airport. It's very, very light, nothing that would affect the commute or the roads or anything like that, just not something we like to see this time of year. We'll take a look at the sky cams, and I'll show you where we're still getting some sunshine and then where there's some clouds. So on the east side in Mount Clemens, we'll check there first because they are just starting to cloud up. So there's still a little, if you can see at the top there, a little blue sky peeking through. We'll take a look at Southfield now, see if we can find any blue skies there. As you go out to the west, you do get a bit more cloudy. And we'll check in on, let's go to Belleville, see how the sky coverage is there. So pretty much mostly cloudy now with just a few breaks of the sun. The winds have been rather strong, not as strong as yesterday, but it's still a little breezy, keeping our wind chills in the 20s and 30s. Now, there's a day where we are close to 70 degrees, and it's within our future forecast. I'll tell you which one coming up.